The watch on my wrist has been in my collection for over 12 months now. Worn it to the office, to the football, even in the sea when I went to the beach in the summer. The question is, does it still warrant a place in my collection and on my wrist? Let's go find out. Hi there, I'm Dave, and today we're looking at the Monro Adventure. That's what's on my wrist. The question is this a brand that you're going to want to watch? Now, you might be wondering, Dave, why on earth are you reviewing a brand and a watch that you've had on your wrist for over 12 months? Well, there's two reasons, really. Firstly, I think you've got to wear a watch for a period of time before you actually get to know it, before you get to feel the nuances of it, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, what works for you, what doesn't. The second piece, though, is that Monro have actually got a fantastic offer on this watch and others on their website at the moment. And no, I'm not sponsored. I haven't got affiliate links or anything like that, but I like to give you guys a good deal when I see one. So there will be some links in the description. Like I say, they're not affiliate links, but if you like what you see on this review, go take a look. The Adventure was actually the first watch that Monro released. They've now got 3 watches in their family. The regular Adventure that I've got here and the Ocean Adventure are both available to order and get on their website now. The Urban Adventure, they're taking pre-orders. And from what I saw at the recent Birmingham Watch Fair, they're fantastic watches. 3 variants of that last one that you can take a look at on their website. I had the pleasure of meeting both Matt and Ryan, the 2 founders of Monro. Fantastic guys, very, very knowledgeable, but also very accommodating to a relative newbie like me who wanted to just talk about the watches, try them on, and see what worked for me. Also, I wanted to share the fact that I got an adventure about 12 months ago and just see what else they had coming up in the works. There's some really interesting stuff coming, but today let's focus on the adventure. But before we get onto the watch itself, we've got to talk about the packaging with Monro. The Monro Adventure and actually all of their watches come in really innovative and clever packaging. So the Adventure comes in essentially a large passport style box. Obviously the Monro brand tagline is "Where will time take you?" So the passport theme ties in beautifully. Even the logo of the little drop pin of the Monro is very, very clever and makes you instantly think of traveling and looking up things on Google Maps. So very cute packaging for the Adventure. Obviously you get the watch itself, you get 2 straps, both NATO style straps, one rubber, one classic fabric NATO, both of which fit fantastically, and actually both of which fit fantastically on other watches. They're 20mm width, so they fit into all of those other strap monster watches that you've got out there. All right, let's talk some specs, and this is a big boy. All right, this is a 44mm case diameter, and it wears as a 44mm case diameter. It's got a lug to lug of 49mm and a thickness of 13.5mm, and that is quite beefy. That said, I've seen people with small wrists, small builds, really rocking this adventure watch, and it looks fantastic on them. We'll see as we go through that there are a couple of challenges with those dimensions that we'll talk about in my niggle section. But overall, a very, very striking watch. Inside, you've got the Seiko NH34 GMT, 24 jeweled movement. The watch is topped off with a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. It's got 100 meters or 10 atmospheres of water resistance. It's a standard NH34, so it's got 41 hours of power reserve. We've got a unidirectional 120 click bezel, which is actually looks to me like a ceramic insert in that bezel. Really, really cute. And it has got lumen there. The lume's not that strong, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's not something that particularly interests me in terms of how strong the lume is. This one just doesn't really cut it from a lume perspective. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on as well. So diving back to the looks, one of the things that grabbed me when I first saw this online was that striking dial. It's a clear, bright white dial with a lovely black ceramic rotating outer bezel. You've got white 24-hour markers cut into that bezel, And inside you've got that reliable Seiko movement that just keeps keeping excellent time. In terms of handset, you've got silver hour and minute hands with a really nice little design element in there. There's a cutout on the minute hand that when the minute hand goes over the hour hand, perfectly aligns with the loomed circle on the hour hand, and they come together beautifully, giving you a certain symmetry and closeness of those hands, which is really special. You've got a dark black GMT hand with a hair drop marker on the end, the Monro logo at 12 o'clock, and a very nicely color coordinated date window at 3 o'clock. You've got applied hour markers, black printed minute tracker around the edge, and then, as I say, you've got that world timer on the inner bezel, which is actually rotated by the second of the crowns. Those crowns both have the Monro logo embossed in them. Case finishing is brushed stainless steel, and you've got some really intriguing lugs here. We're not talking standard lugs. We're talking very big, beefy, almost vintage style lugs that really lift the watch off your wrist, which gives it that very, very distinctive design element. This is a looker. When you wear this on your wrist, people notice, and that's fantastic. I do have a few issues with those lugs, which we'll come back to in a little while, but overall, the package that you get here is fantastic. In terms of that strap, as I said, it's a NATO pass-through strap, very flexible rubber, really nice little details on there as well. You've got Monro and Adventure engraved into a couple of the little strap tidies. Monro logo also on the end of the strap, and flip the strap over the other side and the Monro tagline is cut into the rubber under there. Really nice little touches that you often don't see with Microbrands at this price, but really nice nonetheless. So there's a lot going on with this watch. So why did I buy it in the first place? Well, I've already talked about the unique design. I've talked about the dial. Put those two together and you get an incredibly striking watch. It is a big boy, as I said. That's fine for me with a 7.5-inch wrist. Those with a smaller wrist may struggle a little bit, but that girth is absolutely fine on my wrist. The dial, as I said, just grabs you. The color coordination between the different pieces just fits so well, especially when combined with the strap colors. You've got plain grays, you've got blacks, you've got reds, you've got some vibrant colors in there that actually just work really well together. The whole overall package from a design ethos is very clean, very crisp, very British. Almost Ordnance Survey like, with that logo in there and the way that this design is put together. But secondly, the watch was fantastic value. You know, we're talking Microbrand here. I think I paid 350 in one of the early bird sales to buy this. As I said, NH34 in there, GMT with that world timer and a rotating bezel and a very, very unique design. The value was fantastic at the time. The value is even better now. There's a sale on the Monro website at the moment. As I said, link in the description below. And like I say, if you like what you're seeing, I'd go get it now. There aren't many left, so go grab yourself a bargain while you can. As you might expect, after 12 months of wear, there are some things that I don't like about this watch. They're not huge, they're little niggles, but there are some things there. So first off, in terms of legibility, the irony here is that sometimes the GMT hand is actually more legible than the regular hour and minute tracks. And that's especially true when you're looking at things in the dark, looking at the loom. The GMT hand and the minute hand have actually got the same color loom on them. The hour hand has a different loom. Now that confuses me when I'm looking at it in the dark, because I'm expecting the hour and the minute hands to both have the same color loom with a different application on the GMT. It's a minor niggle because honestly, I don't use loom a lot. I don't look at watches in the dark because it's dark, right? And I've got other things to do, but it is a niggle. Another niggle is the balance of the watch. So I've already mentioned those tall lugs, and I've already mentioned that unique case shape and design. While that's very visually striking and very impactful when it's on your wrist, it also does mean that the watch sometimes is a little bit top heavy. especially if you're using it in the water or if you're using it to do exercise. Now, again, that's a minor niggle. Now, maybe that's just a byproduct of my wrist size. Maybe a smaller wrist, maybe a larger wrist would fit better. But I think in future iterations, maybe just reducing that lug height a little bit, or maybe coming up with some strap options that actually go around the lug instead of using the NATO style that introduces an extra few millimeters in there as well. Again, very minor gripes for a watch that I absolutely love wearing. So here's the big question. Would I recommend the Monro Adventure to you guys? Absolutely. Without doubt, it's been one of my favorite watches over the past 12 months. It still firmly holds a place in my small collection, despite all of the other things that are coming in and going out of that collection. The design is genuinely unique, and it's so unique that it's worth getting over those couple of little niggles that I just talked about. The other thing, as I said, is that the deals that Monro have got going on at the moment are phenomenal. So I can't recommend this watch any more highly, and I can't recommend it at this point in time any more highly. Go out, go buy one of these. But what do you guys think? Anyone out there tried a Monro? Has anyone got the Adventure or the other Monro variants? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this watch. I'd love to hear your thoughts on their other watches. So 12 months in, I'm still loving the adventure that I get every single day with this Monro watch. It's earned its place in my regular rotation, and I'm genuinely excited to see where Monro goes in the coming months and years. Because in my opinion, Monro is absolutely a micro brand that you need to watch.